Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. You know I love it when you send in some cool research, and this time we're going to be talking all about mushrooms.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, so we've got mushrooms.tdf that you sent over, and I've got to say I'm a little intimidated. I only know like the button mushrooms you get at the store, you know.
Well, that's a great place to start, though. Most people's experience with mushrooms starts there, right? But there are literally thousands of varieties of mushrooms out there.
Wow. Okay, so are we talking like the magic mushrooms that people talk about sometimes?
Well, those fall into a category called psychedelic mushrooms, and those definitely have their own, history and uses.
Right.
But we'll be focusing on the non-psychedelic varieties today, the ones that are really packed with nutritional and medicinal benefits.
Okay, cool. So let's dive into those.
Sounds good.
I was looking through that mushrooms.pdf research that you sent, and the thing that really blew me away was the nutritional value.
Hmm.
I mean, I had no idea that mushrooms were so good for you.
Yeah, they really are nutritional powerhouses.
Like, I was really surprised to see that they're a good source of protein.
Yes, definitely. And it's not just protein, they're also low in calories and fat.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And they're full of vitamins and minerals.
Wow.
A lot of people don't realize that mushrooms are one of the few plant-based sources of vitamin D.
Wait a minute, vitamin D, how is that even possible? Isn't vitamin D the sunshine vitamin?
It is. But mushrooms have this really unique ability. They can absorb sunlight and convert it to vitamin D.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. You know, so many people struggle to get enough vitamin D, especially during those winter months when there's less sunlight.
Exactly. So adding mushrooms to your diet can be a great way to boost your vitamin D levels naturally.
Okay, that's a game changer. I'm gonna have to start paying more attention to that. What else is in those mushrooms?
Well, something else that makes them so unique is their umami flavor.
Umami. I feel like I've heard that word before, but I don't really know what it means.
Umami is the fifth basic taste, along with sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. It's that savory, satisfying taste that you get from like rich, meaty flavors.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it.
And mushrooms are a fantastic source of umami, which is why they add so much depth and complexity to dishes.
So that's why they make everything taste so much better.
Exactly. That umami flavor comes from an amino acid called glutamate. It's the same amino acid that's found in meats and cheeses. So that's why mushrooms can create such a satisfying, savory flavor profile in dishes.
This is making me rethink my whole approach to cooking. I'm starting to see mushrooms in a whole new light. It's not just about adding them to a stir fry anymore. It's about understanding how they can elevate the entire flavor profile of a dish.
I think you're really starting to understand the power of mushrooms.
Yeah, this is so cool. All right, so are you ready to dive into some specific types of mushrooms?
Absolutely.
Let's meet some of these mushroom all-stars.
All right, well, let's start with one that's steeped in legend,
Ooh, I like it.
the reishi mushroom. It's known as the mushroom of immortality in traditional Chinese medicine.
Mushroom of immortality. Okay, you've got my attention.
It's been used for over 2,000 years to promote health and longevity.
Wow. Okay, so what makes it so special? What does it actually do?
Well, it's renowned for its immune-boosting properties.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that comes from these things called beta-glucans.
Beta-glucans, we were talking about those before, right?
They're a type of polysaccharide found in mushrooms. And they basically act as messengers. They alert your immune system to potential threats.
Interesting.
So when you consume reishi mushrooms, these beta-glucans trigger a response from your immune cells, making them more prepared to fight off infections.
So it's like giving your immune system a heads up.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Anything else about reishi?
Yeah, reishi is also known for its adaptogenic properties. That means it helps the body adapt to stress.
Oh, I've heard about adaptogens. They're really popular these days, right?
Sure. Yeah, they are. And reishi is one of the best. It's been used for centuries to promote calmness and improve sleep quality.
Okay, so reishi helps to boost immunity and manage stress. What other mushrooms have similar benefits?
Let's move on to another culinary favorite, the shiitake mushroom.
Oh, I love shiitakes. I use them all the time. I never knew they were medicinal, though.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Shiitake mushrooms contain a unique compound called lentinin.
Lentinin.
It's been shown to have some pretty powerful immune boosting and even some anti-cancer effects.
Anti-cancer. Really?
Yeah, lentinin seems to help the immune system recognize and target cancer cells more effectively.
Wow. Okay, I'm definitely going to be eating more shiitakes from now on.
I think that's a good idea.
What's next on our mushroom all-star list?
Well, if you're looking for a mushroom that can give your brain a boost, you need to meet lion's mane.
Lion's mane. I've seen pictures of that one. It looks kind of like a fluffy white beard.
It does. And it's known for its ability to enhance cognitive function. Some people even think it can protect against neurodegenerative diseases.
Brain-boosting mushrooms, huh? So how does that work?
Lion's mane contain these unique compounds called hericenones and erinacines. And these compounds have been shown to stimulate the production of nerve growth factor, or NGF.
NGF.
Yeah, and NGF is essential for the growth, maintenance, and survival of nerve cells.
So that's what helps keep our brains healthy.
Exactly. And studies suggest that lion's mane may improve memory focus and overall cognitive performance.
Wow. Okay, so we've got reishi for immunity and stress shiitake with its potential anti-cancer properties and lion's mane for brain health. This is amazing. What other amazing mushrooms are out there?
Let's talk about turkey tail. This one has a really unique appearance. It gets its name from its colorful fan-shaped caps that resemble a turkey's tail feathers.
Turkey tail. Okay, I can picture that. What's so special about this one?
It's another immune booster. Turkey tail is packed with polysaccharides, particularly PSK and PSP. And these compounds have been shown to have potent immune boosting and potential anti-cancer properties as well.
It seems like mushrooms are the ultimate allies for our health.
They really are.
Okay, so we've got reishi shiitake, lion's mane, and turkey tail. Are there any other mushrooms we should be aware of?
Let's not forget about chaga. This is a unique mushroom that grows primarily on birch trees in colder climates. It doesn't look like a typical mushroom, though. It's more like a dark, charcoal-like growth on the tree trunk.
Chaga. I've heard of that one. I don't really know much about it, though. What's so special about chaga?
It's an antioxidant powerhouse. It's packed with compounds that help protect cells from damage caused by free radicals.
Right. Free radicals, those are the unstable molecules that can damage cells, DNA, and proteins.
Exactly.
And antioxidants are the good guys that neutralize those free radicals, right?
Yep. They act like scavengers, protecting our cells from damage.
So chaga is like a shield against cellular damage.
You got it.
That's pretty impressive. Are there any other benefits to chaga?
There are. Chaga has also been studied for its potential to reduce inflammation, boost the immune system, and even protect against certain types of cancer.
This is all so fascinating. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by all this information, but in a good way. It seems like mushrooms are far more complex and beneficial than I ever realized.
It is a lot to take in. But we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored some of the standout mushroom varieties and their unique properties.
We have, and I'm excited to continue this journey and delve deeper into the general health benefits of mushrooms.
We'll explore the fascinating world of mushroom wisdom after the break. Welcome back. We were talking about some specific types of mushrooms, but there's some amazing general health benefits of mushrooms as well.
Yeah, I'm curious to learn more about that. I mean, we were just talking about reishi shiitake and turkey tail all having those immune-boosting properties.
Right, and it's not just those varieties. A lot of mushrooms can give your immune system a boost.
So what is it about mushrooms that makes them such good immune supporters?
Well, a lot of it has to do with those beta-glucans.
Right, those polysaccharides we talked about earlier.
Exactly. They act like little signals to your immune system saying, hey, wake up. There's something here.
And even though it's not a real threat, those beta-glucans kind of kick our immune system into gear.
Right. And that can help make our immune systems more effective at fighting off actual threats.
So it's like a training exercise for our immune system.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
Mm.
Okay, so we've got the immune system benefits. Anything else?
Well, we talked about lion's mane and its brain-boosting effects.
Right. That one was pretty impressive.
It was. And a lot of mushrooms have benefits for brain health as well.
Really? So it's not just lion's mane?
Nope. A lot of mushrooms contain antioxidants and other compounds that may protect our brains from damage.
That's so cool. So they're kind of like protecting our brains from the wear and tear of daily life.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
They can help protect against oxidative stress, which is basically when there's an imbalance of free radicals and antioxidants in the body.
We've talked about free radicals a bit, but remind me again how those work.
So free radicals are these unstable molecules that can damage cells, proteins, DNA, all that good stuff.
And they're a natural byproduct of our body's processes, right?
Right, like they're kind of unavoidable.
Mm.
But things like pollution, stress, poor diet can make them worse.
Got it.
And that's where antioxidants come in. They basically mop up those free radicals and prevent them from causing damage.
So antioxidants are like the cleanup crew for our bodies.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got mushrooms helping our immune systems, protecting our brains from damage. What else can they do?
Well, something that's really relevant these days is their adaptogenic properties.
Right, adaptogens. Everybody's talking about those.
They are really popular right now. and for good reason.
So remind me, what are adaptogens exactly?
Adaptogens are natural substances that help the body adapt to stress.
So they help us deal with all the craziness of life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They help regulate our stress response so we can better cope with all those physical, emotional, and environmental stressors.
Okay, that makes sense. And mushrooms are considered adaptogens.
Oh, yeah. Some of the best ones, actually.
Like which ones?
Reishi cordyceps, chaga, those are all great examples of adaptogenic mushrooms.
Wow. I am learning so much about mushrooms today. It's amazing. Okay, so we've got immune support, brain protection, stress management. This is incredible. Anything else?
We can't forget about skin health.
Oh, okay, that I'm interested in. I'm always looking for ways to improve my skin.
Well, mushrooms are a great addition to your skincare routine. They're packed with antioxidants, which, as we talked about, help protect against free radical damage.
Right, and that damage can lead to wrinkles and age spots and all that fun stuff.
Exactly. So those antioxidants can help keep your skin looking healthy and youthful.
Okay, I'm sold. Mushrooms for better skin, sign me up. But hold on, before I go crazy buying every mushroom I can find, tell me a little bit more about how to choose high-quality mushrooms.
Sure. Well, first of all, always go for organic whenever possible. You want to make sure your mushrooms are free from pesticides and other chemicals.
Organic check.
And then it really depends on whether you're buying fresh or dried mushrooms.
Okay, what should I look for in fresh mushrooms?
They should be firm, plump, and free from any bruises or blemishes.
So no squishy mushrooms.
Right. And they should have a pleasant, earthy aroma.
Got it. And dried mushrooms.
Dried mushrooms should be brittle, but not crumbly. They should snap cleanly when you break them. And they shouldn't have any signs of mold or mildew.
Okay, those are some really helpful tips. So we've talked about fresh mushrooms, dried mushrooms. What about all those other forms of mushrooms, like powders, capsules, extracts, all that stuff?
Yeah, there are a lot of options out there.
It can be confusing. Which ones are best?
It really depends on what you're looking for. If you just want to add some extra flavor and nutrition to your meals, whole mushrooms are a great option.
Makes sense.
But if you're looking for a more concentrated dose of those beneficial compounds, you might want to consider powders or extracts.
Okay, what's the difference?
Well, powders are basically just dried mushrooms that have been ground up. Extracts are a bit more potent. They're made by using hot water or alcohol to extract the beneficial compounds from the mushrooms.
Ah, so they're more concentrated.
Exactly.
So if I'm looking for those really potent immune boosting or brain boosting effects, extracts are probably the way to go.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, cool. This is all so fascinating. I feel like I'm finally starting to understand the world of mushrooms.
It's a fascinating world, isn't it?
It really is. Okay, so before we wrap up, is there anything else we should know about these amazing fungi?
Well, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that mushrooms are neither plant nor animal. They belong to their own kingdom, the fungi kingdom.
Wait, really? I always thought they were vegetables.
It's a common misconception, but fungi are actually quite different from plants and animals.
So if they're not plants or animals, what are they?
They're eukaryotic organisms, which means their cells have a nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. They get their nutrients by absorbing organic matter from their surroundings. They're kind of like nature's recyclers.
Oh, wow, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, they play a really important role in the ecosystem.
This is blowing my mind.
I know, it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
And we're really just scratching the surface of all there is to know about mushrooms.
There's so much more to learn. This has been an incredible deep dive, I have to say.
It has been fun.
All right, so before we let you go, is there anything else you want to share with our listeners? Any final words of wisdom?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that mushrooms are so much more than just a tasty ingredient. They have incredible potential to benefit our health and well-being.
I think you're right. I'm definitely going to be incorporating more mushrooms into my life.
That's great to hear. And you know, the great thing is there's so many ways to enjoy mushrooms.
Yeah.
You can cook with them, take them in supplement form, even grow them yourself.
I think I might actually try growing my own mushrooms. That sounds like a fun project.
It is. There are lots of great resources out there to help you get started.
Perfect. I'm going to have to look into that. This has been such a fun and informative deep dive. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us.
It was my pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, I hope you're feeling as inspired as I am to explore the amazing world of mushrooms. Who knows, maybe you'll even become a fungi fanatic like me. Until next time, happy mushrooming. All right, so we're back, and I'm still thinking about all the amazing things we've learned about mushrooms.
I know, me too. They really are incredible, aren't they?
They really are. And before we wrap up, I wanted to touch on something we talked about earlier. Choosing high-quality mushrooms.
Okay, yeah, what about it?
So we talked about organic fresh versus dried, all that. But what about powders, capsules, extracts, all those different forms you see at the store? I mean, it can be overwhelming trying to figure out which one to choose.
I know there are a lot of options.
So which ones are best?
Well, it really depends on how you plan to use them.
Yeah.
If you're just cooking with mushrooms, you can't go wrong with whole mushrooms.
Fresh or dried?
Either one.
Yeah.
They're both great sources of nutrients and fiber,
Yeah.
and they're usually the most affordable option.
Right.
But if you're looking for a more concentrated dose of those beneficial compounds, then you might want to consider powders or extracts.
Okay. So what's the difference between those two?
Well, mushroom powders are basically just dried mushrooms that have been ground up into a fine powder.
Okay.
So they're really easy to add to smoothies, soups, or even baked goods.
Ah, so if you don't want chunks of mushrooms in your food, powder is the way to go.
Exactly.
Got it. And extracts.
Extracts are made by using hot water or alcohol to pull out those beneficial compounds from the mushrooms.
Ah, so they're more potent.
Yes, much more potent. And you can find them in liquid or capsule form.
Okay, so if I'm looking for the maximum benefit, I should go for extracts.
Oh.
All right. Well, I feel like I've got a much better understanding of how to choose high-quality mushrooms now, so thank you for that.
Of course, it's important to know what you're buying right.
Right. Well, this has been such a fun and informative deep dive. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your expertise.
It was my pleasure. I always love talking about mushrooms.
I can tell. And to all our listeners out there, I hope you're feeling as inspired as I am to explore the amazing world of mushrooms.
Yeah, go out there and experiment.
There are so many delicious and healthy varieties to discover. And who knows, maybe you'll even uncover some hidden treasures of your own. Until next time, happy mushrooming.